came a time that would drastically alter the course of humanity as we know it. Because on that day, division in math was created. No, hold on. I thought division was easy too, until I learned about synthetic division, where you can divide with letters. It's almost like dividing in math is as hard as something like dividing the country. Oh, wait. Because unfortunately, division isn't just a problem in math, but a problem here, in America too. With Pew Research reporting that over 70% of all Americans believe that the country is divided more than ever. The dream of a red, white, and blue country has instead turned into the reality of a red versus blue country. And that's my concern. Or is it? Let's take a step back. That entire thing you just heard right there? Yeah, it's absolute baloney. But why? The speech was captivating, it was interesting, and it was meaningful. There's just one problem. I don't care. I don't care about division in America. I don't even care about division in math. Of course, I could research, I could practice, I can try and make that my concern. That's not me. That's not my speech. The entire introduction was meant to sound perfect to you, the audience, not to me. Just like me giving that fake speech, our society has become fixated on looking attractive and trying to have the best appeal to others. So much so that we adopt ideals and tendencies that don't align with our own. And that's my real concern. We are losing what it means to be genuine, sacrificing our authenticity for complacency. And I'm afraid that when we spend our lives trying to change ourselves for others, we lose who we are along the way. So, let's find out what my concern really is. First by finding the solution, then by exploring how society has killed authenticity. Before finally revisiting that solution, and hopefully finding some middle ground for how we can implement it into our daily lives. So, what exactly is that solution? Well, I believe the solution to living a more genuine life revolves around a single word: legacy. How genuine we live our lives is dependent on what we want our legacies to be, and what we're willing to sacrifice for them. Whether it be sacrificing our current image, status, or privileges, we need to reevaluate what values we truly want to be our legacy. Wait, did I just give a solution at the beginning? Isn't that against the rules? Well, according to credible author National Forensics League, they really only cite one rule for how to give an original oratory. Give a 10-minute persuasive speech, that's it. Yet even though the rules aren't explicitly stated, we still find a set of unspoken rules we believe are best. In original oratory, we start with an energetic, funny intro. Then we shift. Talk about the harms. Give a sad, gut-wrenching story. And then move to an optimistic, inspiring solution. All while changing our tone and having a set place for each section. But this isn't just in speech, as we've been taught that there is an expected best way to do something, and that way is not our original way. It's Professor Martin Adams, who pointed out this phenomenon as selective picking and choosing, where we pick and choose all the things that will set us ahead, leaving no room for our originality. In this process, our need to meet these expectations causes us to conform to this norm or alter ourselves in order to get there. What better example to use than American politicians? Just last year, U.S. Congressman George Santos, who was to be elected, lied about his high school, his college, his job, his employees, his money, his charity, his marriage, his mother's grandmother, and being Jewish? When asked about this statement, he claimed, "Oh, I never said I was Jewish. I said I was Jew." Ish. He acted as CNBC reporter Emmy Martin calls a social chameleon, blending into a crowd, telling others what they want to hear, all while wearing a mask of deception. But it isn't just politicians. As researchers at Toronto Metropolitan University found this year that over 70% of college students admitted to lying on their applications. And even for adults, almost 50% of all job resumes were found to contain at least one lie. Our need to meet this expectation causes us our need for approval to override our authenticity. And in this process, we sacrifice our legacy for our status. And unfortunately, I was one of those people too. After failing to achieve a dream of mine I had wanted for so long, I realized the only way for me to get there was to change myself. So I lied and gave myself a fake persona about being a 9-foot-tall basketball player so I could get drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers. But as I stand here and tell you this ridiculous, convincing, made-up story using this sad, angry tone, it sounds pretty natural, doesn't it? We've been so accustomed to adopting these facades that it's hard for us to distinguish whether something is genuine or not. This entire speech may still be a facade, and you would never know. I may not even know. Because as psychologist David Thurman finds, we unconsciously bend ourselves to the will of society, allowing our motivations to change from internal to external. We've normalized being disingenuous for so long that our entire lifestyles are starting to change. That's why in 2022, CBS reporters found that 85% of Americans said they would leave jobs they love just for a $10,000 paycheck. 85%. Can you imagine that? Because ultimately, whether it be living our lives to fit in, get approval, or even just for money, we're not being ourselves. Because it's easy, it's rewarding, it feels good. It feels good to be accepted, it feels good to get more money. But at some point, we're going to have to choose. If we're willing to sacrifice these successes for our legacy. Now it's time to revisit that optimistic, inspiring solution. You're all gonna die! Pretty optimistic, right? But it's true. We're all going to die. One day, everything won't matter. After we're dead, what are we going to leave behind? Because in the long run, no one's really going to care what job you had or what college you got into. Because the true measure of our success is not in the image we present to the world, but in the impact we leave behind. If I only get one chance to live, you bet I'm leaving a legacy that I want to leave, not what others want me to. It's time we started valuing what's in here, not what's on here or what's out there, but in here. So this solution isn't some list you can check off or rules you can follow. It's simply a realization. What kind of life am I living right now? And what kind of life do I want to live? So I urge you all to think about your legacies, our legacies. What will they be? What will yours be? My grandma used to tell me this old Chinese, 做自己很难, which in English means the most difficult part about life is being honest with yourself. And she's right. All my life, I've been told to do this, be this by others. Whether society or my parents, I didn't make these decisions for myself. So it's time I started here. Now, on it won't really matter. Because I'm not giving this speech for society or for my parents. I'm giving it for the college application. I'm giving it because I'm doing what I love.